They say absence makes the heart grow fonder. But does it really? Sometimes all the signs point to your ex moving on, yet a single clue can flip the script overnight. Today, I'm about to reveal the one unmistakable sign that proves they're coming back for sure. Don't blink. You don't want to miss this. People believe that once an ex is gone, they're gone for good. But real life isn't that simple. Breakups can be messy, feelings can linger, and regrets tend to sneak up when we least expect them. The course of true love never did run smooth, William Shakespeare once wrote. And this couldn't be more relevant when it comes to exes who just can't make up their minds. You see, your ex might be silent on social media or acting distant in person, but silence is not always the final word. Often it's a mask for deeper emotions, ones they're reluctant to face. But if they're giving off a particular signal, there's a strong chance they're not as over you as they pretend to be. And trust me, you'll know it when you see it. Now, I'm not talking about random interactions or occasional small talk. There is no charm equal to tenderness of heart, said Jane Austen. And that tenderness can show up in the smallest of gestures, from a heartfelt text to a curious glance. When you recognize this specific clue, you'll feel it resonate instantly. It's genuine, it's unplanned, and it cuts straight through all the post-breakup games. By the end of this video, you'll have crystal clear insight into how your ex's mind works when they're on the brink of coming back. Because guess what? People don't just wake up one day and decide they made a mistake. They agonize over it, and they can't hide that emotional process forever. So make sure you stick around. The sign I'm about to share is the clearest possible indicator that your ex has one foot back in the door. Think about how many times you've checked their social media, reread old messages, or wondered if you made a mistake too. You're not alone. Your ex does the same. We are all apprentices in a craft where no one ever becomes a master. Ernest Hemingway once said. Relationships are a craft, and sometimes the only way to learn is through heartbreak. This sign proves they've been doing some serious soul-searching. You might even catch yourself doubting your instincts, thinking it's just wishful thinking. But when the mind and heart collide, clues slip out in unexpected ways. The ex who was once cold or indifferent can become curious, attentive, or surprisingly tender. Their energy changes, and you'll notice it if you're paying attention, which is exactly why you need to hear what's coming up next. Before we get into the exact details of this sign, remember the wisdom of Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You hold the power here. Whether they come back or not doesn't define your worth. Yet recognizing this sign can give you a head start if you do want to rebuild what was lost. Now, if you're ready to empower yourself with the knowledge of the one undeniable sign that tells you your ex is coming back, I encourage you to watch this video until the very end. You'll discover not just the sign itself, but also how to handle it once you see it. Because the moment you detect it, everything in your dynamic shifts. Before we dive deeper, do me a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. I see the sign. Let this be your personal mantra and your declaration that you're prepared for whatever comes next. Because when you do see the sign, you'll be ready to handle it with strength, clarity, and confidence. Sign number 1. They can't stop checking up on you. Indirect curiosity. They light up your notifications. Your ex may not come right out and say they miss you, but their actions speak volumes. One of the first signs they're coming back for sure is an unusual spike in how often they appear in your digital life. Suddenly they're liking your posts or checking your stories more than ever. They'll insist it's just casual browsing, but there are no accidents, as Sigmund Freud famously pointed out. Mutual friends start mentioning them. While they might not directly message you, they're still craving intel. So they turn to the friends you share in common. Don't be surprised if those friends mention your ex asking how you're doing. This seemingly harmless curiosity is a key indicator they're too invested to move on. Deep down, they're testing the waters to see if you're still open to reconnecting. They flirt with the scene and read receipts. Ever notice how they pop into your DMs, then disappear before you can reply, or view your profile minutes after you post something new? The only thing more unthinkable than leaving was staying. The only thing more impossible than staying was leaving, wrote Elizabeth Gilbert. Your ex feels torn between wanting to act cool and needing to know if you still notice them. They subtly adjust their online persona. Suddenly their posts or stories take on a certain tone that seems directed at you. Maybe they're quoting songs that meant something to both of you, or sharing memes you'd always laugh at together. These posts serve a dual purpose. They let you know they're still thinking about you, and they provide a face-saving way to re-establish emotional contact without confessing it outright. Their ego battles. Their curiosity. They don't want to appear desperate, so they'll often interact right up to the line without crossing it. They might even delete a like or remove a comment, hoping you won't catch them snooping. But the fact remains, they're watching. We cannot escape our emotions. We only learn to manage them, said Aristotle. Their emotions are driving them back to you, even if they fight it every step of the way. Why this matters. This indirect curiosity shows that they're not over you. If someone truly moves on, they don't feel the need to stay updated on your every move. The more they monitor your life, the more obvious it becomes. They're not just interested, they're inching toward a possible reunion, often without realizing it themselves. This is your sign, number 1. Their digital shadow is everywhere you look. When someone can't stop checking up on you, whether through social media, mutual friends, or sneaky late-night views of your profile, it's a strong clue they're seriously considering coming back. Sign number 2. They reminisce about the good times. They bring up old memories. One key indicator your ex is considering a reunion is when they start revisiting moments from your shared past. Whether it's a random text about that hilarious trip you two took, or a social media comment referencing an inside joke, they're consciously revisiting happier times. As the playwright Tennessee Williams wrote, time is the longest distance between two places. If they're closing that distance by recalling the past, it's a powerful sign they're not ready to let go. They compare new experiences to old ones. Listen closely when they talk about recent events in their life. If they start highlighting how nothing quite measures up to what they had with you, they're effectively telling you those memories still hold weight. They may phrase it casually, but the subtext is loud and clear. Our time together felt different, better. They get sentimental over everyday moments. Maybe it's the smell of your favorite coffee blend or a certain song that plays on the radio. If they mention these mundane triggers and how they suddenly reminded them of you, take note. They're letting you know their heart's still anchored to the simple everyday joys you once shared. It's the little details that are vital, said basketball legend John Wooden. These small details often hint at something bigger stirring below the surface. They encourage you to remember. 2. When they try to bring you along on this nostalgic trip, prompting you to recall specific moments with them, they're making an emotional bid. They want you to mirror their sense of longing, or, at the very least, acknowledge it. "Memory is the diary that we all carry about with us," wrote Oscar Wilde. If they're constantly flipping through that diary in your presence, they're definitely revisiting you in their mind. Why they do it? Revisiting happy memories helps them soften the emotional landscape. They're essentially testing whether you also look back fondly. If you respond positively, they take it as a green light to push the conversation deeper. If you respond with indifference, they know to tread carefully. Essentially, they're measuring the gap between your current feelings and the nostalgia they're trying to rekindle. Why it matters. People who have truly moved on rarely dive into nostalgia with their ex. They may recall the past, but they don't yearn for it. When your ex starts bringing up old memories and shared laughs, it's more than casual chatter. It's an admission that the bond you had still means something to them. Their willingness to revisit those moments is a subtle but powerful sign they're considering a return to your life. Sign number 3. Their emotions start showing, even when they try to hide them. Sometimes when your ex unexpectedly snaps or shows annoyance over small things, it's because their feelings are still on high alert. They might act like they're over you, but unresolved emotions have a way of bubbling to the surface. Sigmund Freud once noted, "Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways." In this case, their irritation is proof there's still emotional investment beneath the facade. If they hear about you going on a date or pursuing new interests, their reaction might be more intense than what a truly indifferent ex would display. They may try to mask it with casual interest or offhand remarks, but a subtle twinge of jealousy is often a dead giveaway that they still care, and deeply. Have they ever dropped a heartfelt message out of the blue saying something like, "I miss talking to you," or "I've been thinking about us lately"? These admissions can slip out late at night or during moments of vulnerability, revealing the emotional turmoil they can no longer bottle up. According to poet Maya Angelou, there's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. Your ex's story is still unfolding, and they can't keep it hidden forever. Even if their words say, "I'm fine," their body language might tell another story. Watch for lingering eye contact, nervous fidgeting, or leaning in closer when you speak. These signs indicate their defenses are dropping, showing they're more emotionally invested than they care to admit. A surefire signal that they're on the verge of returning is when they feel compelled to right past wrongs. Whether it's a straightforward apology or a vague mention of, "If only I had handled things differently," this emotional transparency points to unresolved guilt. There's no middle way for regret, observed writer Nathaniel Hawthorne. If they're voicing regret, they're no longer content with the way things ended. When emotions overflow, it's because the rational mind can't contain them any longer. Real change and potential reunions often bloom from these honest, unfiltered moments. If your ex is displaying emotions, even negative ones, it signals that the connection they once had with you isn't dormant. And when emotion takes the wheel, it's often just a matter of time before they make a move to come back. Sign number 4. They start making future plans that subtly include you. One key sign your ex is contemplating a reunion is when they begin hinting at future get-togethers or events. No longer content with the polite small talk of, "How have you been?" They might casually mention wanting to see the latest movie you'd both enjoy, or attending a concert you once talked about together. "We must dare to be great," said Theodore Roosevelt, and in this case, daring to think beyond the moment indicates they're mentally placing you back in their life. Your ex may ask for your advice on a trip or a career move, even if it doesn't directly involve you. Why? They want your input, possibly because they still value your perspective. Or they're testing to see if you care enough to invest your thoughts. Seeking your counsel is a subtle way of rebuilding emotional intimacy. They're basically saying, "Your voice still matters to me." Though they won't always admit it, sometimes your ex will happen to be at the same events or social spots you frequent. This isn't a coincidence. It's a gentle push to create more moments with you. "Chance is perhaps the pseudonym of God," wrote Anatole France. But in this case, it's more intentional than random. Your ex wants to re-establish a sense of shared space and time. Another strong indicator is when they speak about personal goals, but still align them with what you used to dream about together, like moving to a certain city or exploring a hobby you both loved. By referencing these shared visions, they're quietly suggesting, "We can still make these happen together." It's their way of tying the future back to a relationship that once was. Maybe they mention your birthday months in advance, or recall how you once planned a holiday trip. If they're increasingly focused on future milestones that involve you, it's a clear sign their interest is deepening again. It's not just a trip down memory lane. They're mentally placing you in what lies ahead. When an ex starts weaving you into their future, however subtly, it means their mind isn't locked on the past or their own independence. They've gone from, "Let's just see how you're doing," to, "Would you still want to do this with me?" This planning is an emotional stepping stone toward rekindling what was lost. Because genuine interest in a shared future often opens the door for the kind of conversations that lead to a real reunion. Sign number 5. They show unexpected acts of kindness or support. They go out of their way to help you. When an ex suddenly offers assistance or support, be it helping you fix a car problem, volunteering to edit your resume, or simply lending a sympathetic ear, it's a strong indicator they're still emotionally invested. This is more than a friendly gesture. It demonstrates genuine care. You can't live a perfect day without doing something for someone who will never be able to repay you, said John Wooden. By stepping up for you, your ex reveals they haven't fully closed the door on what you once had. They surprise you with thoughtful gestures. Look for moments where they remember special dates, your favorite meal, or something you casually mentioned needing. These small surprises don't happen accidentally. They indicate your ex is thinking about you more deeply than they'd like to admit. Recalling intricate details of your life is their way of staying connected and reminding you that they still value you. They offer emotional support during tough times. If you're going through a challenge, health issues, job stress, or family problems, pay attention to your ex's reaction. Are they the first to reach out, asking if you're okay or needing someone to talk to? A friend in need is a friend indeed, the saying goes. And while you're no longer in a relationship, your ex is essentially auditioning for a new role in your life. This willingness to be your emotional anchor signals they care deeply about your well-being. They act protective of you, Exes who are truly done with the past rarely feel the urge to defend you, especially in front of friends or colleagues. But if your ex quickly stands up for you, disputes criticism aimed your way, or otherwise safeguards your reputation, they're operating from a place of attachment. The supreme happiness in life is the conviction that we are loved, wrote Victor Hugo, and their protective streak suggests they might still want to be the person who loves and protects you. They consistently check in. Unexpected kindness often shows up as periodic check-ins that feel sincere and considerate. They're not just asking out of politeness, they're asking because they genuinely care. If you're feeling down or you had a big day at work, they'll text or call to see how it went. This level of attentiveness goes beyond casual curiosity. It's part of a deeper emotional investment. Why it matters? These acts of kindness and support aren't just random goodwill. They signal an ongoing emotional pull toward you. Your ex is demonstrating that you still hold a unique place in their life, one they're not ready to give up. Genuine concern, heartfelt gestures, and unwavering support all point to one conclusion. They're slowly but surely edging back into your world, likely hoping you'll recognize the effort and open the door for a real connection again. Sign number 6. They invest more time and energy, even without a label. They initiate frequent contact, no longer content with the occasional text or a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" message. Your ex starts reaching out more often. They might ask about your day, check in on life updates, or even send random memes. As Greek philosopher Epictetus advised, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Their frequent nudges reveal they're still trying to figure out where they stand with you, and subtly adorn themselves in a way you'll approve of. They crave shared experiences, from spontaneous coffee runs to grabbing concert tickets at the last minute. They're now creating opportunities to spend quality time together, even if it's under the guise of just friends. The fact that they're carving out space in their schedule for you, sometimes sacrificing other plans, is a major sign they're willing to invest time before any official label is back in place. They open up about their personal life. When an ex starts divulging personal struggles, aspirations, or even day-to-day joys, it means they're comfortable showing their vulnerable side again. We are all so desperate to be understood. We forget to be understanding, says poet and philosopher Khalil Gibran. By sharing more of themselves, they're asking for your understanding and maybe hoping you'll respond with equally open arms. They pay close attention to your needs. Watch for gestures like bringing your favorite snack when they visit or remembering small details you mentioned offhand. This focus on meeting or even predicting your needs shows they're not just passing time. They're invested in making you feel valued and understood. It's a soft attempt to rebuild what was lost, one thoughtful act at a time. They seek your involvement in their decisions. From career moves to weekend plans, your ex increasingly asks for your input, sometimes even prioritizing your opinions over their own. The reason? They want to show you that your perspective matters. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves, wrote William Shakespeare. By involving you, they signal that they see a shared future in the decisions they make today. Why it matters. True commitment isn't just words, it's shown through consistent actions. The more time and energy they invest, without any explicit promise or label, the more evident it becomes that they see you as a priority. This kind of steady, purposeful involvement doesn't happen unless they're genuinely considering a deeper reconnection. If your ex is making room for you in their calendar, conversations and future plans, take note. They're quietly paving the way for a potential reunion. Sign number 7. They openly discuss reconciliation and show they've changed. They stop avoiding the past mistakes. A powerful sign that your ex is truly on the path back to you is when they finally stop tiptoeing around what went wrong. Instead, they acknowledge the mistakes, both yours and theirs, that led to the breakup. To err is human, to forgive divine, wrote Alexander Pope, and this moment of accountability is the first genuine step toward a fresh start. Instead of sidestepping painful memories, they own up to their role in the relationship's downfall. They express genuine willingness to work on themselves. This is when they don't just talk about the breakup, they talk about growth. Whether it's through therapy, self-help books, or adopting better habits, your ex begins to show tangible efforts at self-improvement. This goes beyond lip service. It's about actionable change. They recognize that if they want a second shot, they have to be different this time around, and they're showing you how. They ask for your perspective on the future. Another major clue is when they start asking how you envision a renewed relationship. Maybe they say, "What if we tried again, but did things differently?" Or, "What do you need from me if we were to get back together?" Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard once said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." Your ex looks to the past for lessons, but focuses on the future with you at the center. They seek closure on lingering issues. Hurt feelings, misunderstandings, and unresolved arguments often keep exes apart. If your ex is actively trying to clarify old conflicts, asking how they can make amends or explaining their perspective, they're not content with emotional loose ends. They're motivated to close these chapters the right way, which paves the path for a new beginning rooted in honesty and respect. They suggest specific steps for rebuilding trust. Trust isn't rebuilt overnight. It requires consistent effort. When your ex not only admits past breaches of trust, but also proposes concrete ways to rebuild it, like regular check-ins, open communication, or professional counseling, they're demonstrating a readiness for real change. As Abraham Lincoln said, commitment is what transforms a promise into reality. These concrete steps show their commitment to making things right. Why it matters. Anyone can claim to miss you or express regret. Genuine reconciliation, however, hinges on accountability, constructive dialogue, and a willingness to do better. When your ex openly discusses the future, takes responsibility for mistakes, and presents real plans for moving forward, they're handing you the clearest sign possible. They're serious about coming back and making it last. If your ex is displaying even a few of these signs, chances are they're already on the path back to you. The key is recognizing these subtle and sometimes not so subtle signals for what they are, the beginnings of a potential reunion. Remember, as the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." Your breakup and healing journey have made you wiser and more resilient. Now, if you decide to open the door for them again, do it from a place of confidence, clarity, and self-respect. Before we wrap up, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel and comment below, saying, "I am worth every effort." This is your personal mantra, your declaration that if they come back, it's on terms that honor your worth and well-being. Thank you for joining me on this transformative journey. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember, you deserve the kind of love that chooses you wholeheartedly. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.